He parked the car, got out, opened the trunk and grabbed his AR-15, slung it on his shoulder. Why? Well, the answer is simple. He just wanted to buy some water because he's thirsty.
Can I get a large Sprite? Thank you. By the way, I was curious, what's Burgerville's policy on open carrying firearms inside the store?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
Okay. All right. Just make...
No, I'm not. As long as nobody's saying anything, I'm fine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything as long as you're not going to shoot us up.
I promise you I won't.
Okay. You'll just protect us, right?
Yes.
That's all I care about.
Well, an armed citizen is a way to stop a lot of crime. So.
And I'm not totally on understanding of everything, but like I said, I'm not going to do anything as long as nothing's going on. In fact, I wouldn't even notice if you would have said something.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure you guys weren't going to get upset or anything. So, anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Mac starts pouring his water and heads out. He sounded like he was pleased with the overall experience.
So either this is good news for City of Vancouver Police Department, maybe they don't care about open carry people, or this is good news for the population of Vancouver, and they did not call the police on them. So either way, kudos to you guys.
Just as Mac thought things were going well, the police showed up, pointing miniguns at Mac.
Hey, bud, stop right there. Stop right there. Put the rifle on the ground. Put the rifle on the ground.
I'd rather not touch it, officer.
Put the rifle on the ground.
I don't want to touch the weapon. They're pointing guns at me right now, and...
Despite Mac's objection, he puts the rifle down and complies. That's when one of the officer builds up the courage to walk up to Mac and speak to him without yelling orders at him.
Can I put my arms down?
Go ahead and put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Okay.
Turn your phone off.
I'd rather not, sir.
Just turn it off.
I don't want to.
Okay. Let me see your ID.
Am I being detained right now, officer?
Huh? Let me see your ID.
No, thank you.
What's that?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay. Why are you saying no, thank you?
I know it's my Fourth Amendment right. I don't have to show you my identification.
Okay. Why are you walking down the road with a rifle?
Am I not allowed?
Why? I'm asking you a question. Why are you walking around with a rifle right now?
Why are you walking around with a weapon? Why is she walking
We're
around?
not going to play jokes, all right? We're working right now. So
Okay.
why are you walking around with a rifle?
I'm allowed. It's my constitutionally protected right.
That's your firearm?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Registered to you?
I'm not going to answer any more questions,
Okay.
officer.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Go ahead and Just check that real quick.
Just so you know, I don't consent to any searches or seizures of my firearm.
All right. That's good. That's good. We're not taking it anywhere. So just make sure it's not stolen. Make sure the weapon's clear. So why are you walking around with a rifle?
I'm not going to answer any more of your questions. What's your badge number, officer?
I don't have a badge number. If you can find one on there, let me know.
What's your name?
My name is Officer Rollins.
Officer Rollins. Can you spell that for me, please, sir?
Yeah, I will in a minute.
What's your name, ma'am?
It's right here.
Officer Young? What's your name, ma'am? Officer Hernandez, is that correct?
Oh, I'm glad you can read.
Is this nigga serious?
Wow, that was rude.
All right, stay here. I'll be right. You watch him for a second. Stay right there.
Am I being detained right now?
At the moment, yeah.
What crime have I committed?
No crimes have been committed at this point that we know of.
Are
Maybe
you-
your gun's stolen, I don't know.
Are you aware that I have to be committing a crime, or you have to have reasonable suspicion that I committed a
Stop talking.
crime?
That'd be great.
It'd be great if you would just let me go. I didn't realize that I was in Nazi Germany.
Okay.
All right.
So any reason why you're walking around with an AR?
I'm not answering any more of your guys' questions. You haven't done anything to anger me or anything, but
Oh, I understand
yeah.
that. I understand that there's a Second Amendment, there's a Constitution, and you're perfectly... Take your hand in your pocket for me, please. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to call you Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, as long as you understand that based on your behavior and your actions, you have caused alarm and disorder in the community. Shut your
So here's
Have a
my,
nice day. You may pick up your firearm,
which you've
your
strewn my
magazine,
bullet all over
your
the
hat,
ground.
and you may leave, sir.
I really appreciate your service to this community, officer.
You're very welcome, sir.
And I appreciate you guys defending the oath you took to uphold the Constitution.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
yourself a great day.
You wonderful people. Okay, so we have police over there. Oh, by the way, he did not give me his spelling of his name. What is that car number? Car number 1292. Hernandez.
They don't want you here.
All right. Can't read that car number. Went way too fast.
Sir, you were asked to walk the other way while exiting. Do not walk towards me with a firearm in your possession. Walk the other way, please. Thank you.
Wow, this is incredible. Officer, I need to get to my car is over there.
Sir, you were asked to leave that private property. You need to leave that private property or you're trespassing.
Officer, I'm trying to get to my car. It's over there. I want to leave.
Sir, keep your hands where I can see them at this point, please. I'm going to ask you to set the phone down so that you don't damage your own phone. Set it on the ground. Do not reach
My car's
near
over there.
your firearm. Set the phone on the ground.
Knees.
I just want to leave.
Knees.
My car is right there.
Hands on top of your head.
Put them on your head.
Don't move.
Why am I being assaulted here? Am I being arrested?
Yep.
I want to leave.
Too bad.
It was apparent he was arrested for trespassing. However, the trespassing charges got dismissed before the trial even began, instead of leaving it at that. The prosecutor decides to gun for the Second Amendment. Mack was charged with RCW 9.41.270, which makes it unlawful for any person to carry, exhibit, display, or draw any firearm in a manner, under circumstances, and at a time and place that either manifests an intent to intimidate another or that warrants alarm for the safety of other persons. There's no question Mack carried an AR-15 and did it in the city of Vancouver, Washington. So the case either makes or breaks on the prosecutors proving this single element. 1. That the defendant, Mack, carried, exhibited, or displayed the weapon in a manner under circumstances and at a time and place that warranted alarm for the safety of other persons. There's no doubt that there was alarm caused, judging by the police response and nearby mall going into lockdown.
A male walking over by the fireworks stand with what looked to be a rifle or assault rifle.
Okay. And when you noticed him, had police arrived?
No.
What are you thinking when you see him?
Possible active shooter scenario.
Okay. How did you react?
I ended up calling into my dispatch, putting them on standby to contact police. At the same time, radioing into Big Al's to perform a lockdown of the facility.
The prosecutor couldn't prove the criminal mannerisms Mack had engaged in. For example, pointing the gun at people or threatening people with the gun, clearly because no evidence supported that theory. Instead, the prosecutor opted to skip the mannerism and just blow the alarm way out of proportion, essentially criminalizing the Second Amendment as a whole. Meanwhile, the defense strategy was simple. Just make it crystal clear any alarm that was caused by Mack was only as a result of his lawful and constitutional conduct. There was only one consistent testimony between everyone who took the stand, and it wasn't favorable to the prosecutor.
Did Mr. Worley, I know you didn't know his name at the time, but did Mr. Worley put his hands on the firearm at any time?
He was holding it on his shoulder that I could tell.
But did he put his hands on
I
it?
do not recall.
And did Mr. Worley do anything that made it look like he was going to go for the gun?
No, not that I recall.
In your observation of Mr. Worley from the point where he poured his Sprite until he walked out the door, did he have any mannerisms that made it seem like he was going to go for the gun?
No.
And did you see him actually put his hands on the gun during that time period?
I do not recall.
Was there anything about Mr. Worley's movements that gave you concern about him being an active shooter?
As in the way he was walking, or I don't understand.
Anything other than the fact that the weapon was slung over his shoulder? Anything else about him gave you concern that he may be an active shooter?
No.
Did he point the gun at you at all?
No, sir.
Did he verbally threaten you?
No, sir.
with the gun? So you didn't see Mr. Worley make any movements that gave you any sort of alarm that he was going to go for his weapon?
No, sir.
Other than the fact that the weapon was on him, was there anything about Mr. Worley that gave you concern that he was going to use that weapon?
No, sir.
I did not see him raise his rifle at all.
You observed the barrel pointing up. Was that your barrel ever pointing up?
No, sir.
In fact, in the approximate 30 minutes that you were out there, did you ever put your hands on the weapon?
No.
And did you ever put your hands on the trigger?
No, absolutely not.
Despite clear and convincing evidence that Mack merely exercised his Second Amendment right, he was found guilty of violating RCW 9.41.270, but the verdict was successfully appealed and overturned.
If you could do it over again, would you?
Yeah.
If I ever took an elevator, babe, told the dogs that we gon' get it, it's